Test. Hello, AMB. Hi, this is me, Ox, AOX. I decided to do a voice recording for this one. Two reasons. I thought it would be easier just to explain what you're seeing and how I went about it. And then two, I just wanted to give myself some warm-up practice for talking in front of on a voice recording. I guess I tend to get nervous and anxious, and I still want to do the testimonial, but every time I do, I just kind of freeze up. So I thought this would be a nice kind of warm-up for that. Anyways, that's beside the point. So for this one, I plan to do a flour sack doing a cartwheel. I'll just begin. So this is actually my first pose. I have him kind of showing the mat on the ground as he is kind of showing what he's about to do here. But I just kind of added that frame so he'll move into that. But this was really my first frame I started with. And I did this all follow through, or sorry, did this straight ahead is what I meant to say. And I used some reference for the cartwheel. This beginning part I did not use reference though. So yeah, he points to the mat, and then he moves into this position where he's going to be doing some stretches. So you can see him doing kind of various stretches there. So I guess that would be like his secondary action. And then he moves into position for the cartwheel, the primary action. And so he kind of anticipates, and that was actually in the reference too, the little anticipation there, like lean back. And then he does the cartwheel. And then I kind of threw in this frame here to kind of show that he's kind of proud and triumphant, I guess, of the cartwheel he just accomplished. And then he kind of relaxes back into position. So again, we start against that, some stretches, gets into position, goes back, leans forward, and goes into the cartwheel. Okay. And so that's not all I did. Those were my straight ahead roughs, and I figured I'd just go ahead and just start kind of trying to pick out some extreme frames, which was kind of challenging. So I had picked out these frames. So I just start with these two. And then this is the stretching pose where you start stretching, but I didn't continue with any of those keyframes yet, since it wasn't the main action that's happening. So he immediately goes into position for the cartwheel. So he goes from there to the cartwheel, and then does the slight anticipation into the cartwheel. And I kind of did every other frame on these cartwheels. I kind of chose the ones that seemed like less in-betweens, that kind of had more of a dynamic to them. And then his relaxed pose. And I had made a slight mistake before where my ending pose was actually the same size as him, but because I have this kind of slight perspective going, it actually ended up making him look like he was bigger at the end, even though he was the same size. So these are the keyframes I picked to start with. Yeah, so that's what I have so far. And then just really quickly to go back, these are all my frames. Okay, because yeah, see, there's a lot more in-betweens in the cartwheel, and there were some interesting shapes in the cartwheel that I tried to get, like these little triangles in the legs here, and there was like a triangle here. Obviously the reference was human, but I just kind of had to make it happen, you know. So that's that. There's one last thing I just want to show real quick, and that is this, because I had done many other ideas, but the cartwheel was the one I decided I should definitely just do that one, because it's kind of simple and straightforward. There are many ideas I kind of just threw to the recycling bin, So this is one I really wanted to do, but it's a little bit longer, and I figured I would just hold off till after I do the cartwheel and do some other training exercises from the archive. But this one I plan to do after at some point. So this one, he's going to slide down this ramp, and there's going to be a springboard here, and he's going to be sprung into the air, and we'll see that now. So he's standing here, he's thinking here with his little hand, and then he gets into position, and then he makes a jump into the air and slides down this ramp and hits the springboard and is launched in the air. And then this little part right here, I kind of wanted his legs kicking in the air like he's trying to run in the air. So he kind of didn't intend to go that high. Or maybe he didn't know the springboard was there. Anyways, he goes into a landing position, but it's kind of a far drop for him, so he kind of lands hard and kind of flops and kind of crashes onto the ground here and slides a little bit. I kind of wanted him to get a little roughed up. I always enjoyed cartoons as a kid when, characters would get kind of injured, so to speak. I think that's why I always liked Wile E. Coyote and things like that as a kid. But yeah, anyways, that was one I was planning to do next, and that was also done straight ahead. And then back to this really quickly. I had done these like pose to pose, just like how you had shown in the follow through and overlap exercise. Anyways, I think that's it. This is actually my third or fourth recording. I was really nervous the first couple of times, but I'm a little better this time. But yeah, that's what I have so far. Thank you, AMB, for everything. All right, cheers.